New reports from the White House outline the ugly impact if $85 billion in cuts go into effect on Friday as a result of sequestration, detailing cuts that would hurt public health, education, national defense and the economy. Louisiana Governor Bobby Jindal has had enough of speculation over the cuts. On Meet the Press on Sunday, this is what he had to say to the president.
My advice to the president is stop the campaigning, stop sending out your cabinet secretaries to scare the American people, roll up your sleeves and do the hard work of governing. I'm for closing those loopholes, by the way. Let's use those revenues to lower tax rates so we can grow the economy so we don't have the world's highest corporate income tax rates. Right. So we put more money in the private sector economy. Now, Walmart and other companies are saying, thanks to the tax increases, they're actually seeing business slow down. We don't need more taxes. We need more private sector growth, not government growth.
Well, it's not exclusive to Bobby Jindal to think that the president is engaging in, a strategy that involves more campaigning and scaring the American people than it does governing. But this is a strategy that the president has successfully employed. Now, you can debate the merits of this and whether he's actually doing what he could be doing in a separate forum. But the reality is, in this political battle over the sequester and how to get what you want out of any kind of agreement that's still possible to forge, he's essentially going out there and making the case, as he has over the fiscal cliff deal and other past fights, that Republicans are holding out. They're basically protecting the interests of the wealthiest few Americans and willing to put the economy at stake, willing to put this country and what's best for it at stake. Now, obviously, that's not the case. Republicans do not like the sequester. They too want a resolution, but they have argued that they already gave the president his tax hikes in the fiscal cliff deal, and that's sort of what Bobby Jindal is saying. We don't need more tax revenues. That they're all for closing tax loopholes, but not in the context of the sequester. The White House is going to tactically do its job, do what it thinks is the best. Take the best approach, and this is very serious. And it's up to Republicans now to just give in and stop protecting tax breaks for the wealthy and for corporations. Again, political play that they've used many times before, and they continue to use it successfully. So I don't see them putting an end to that by any means. The sequester is probably going to kick in on Friday as expected and then be dealt with retroactively when they have other upcoming fiscal deadlines that they deal with, namely the expiration of the CR, which is funding for the government, on March 27th. Either way, when they do ultimately reach an agreement over a budget and how to deal with some of these upcoming fiscal deadlines, they'll deal with the sequester. But our economists have argued that some of that damage would be irreversible. So there's certainly a case to make that these consequences are very real and they will be felt by a lot of American people, or just people in this country, I should say. But at the same time, like you said, this is politicking at its worst. This is the reason why people around the country have lost faith in Congress, as well as just the ability to govern, because they see this bickering, they see this blame game over the sequester, and they don't see any resolution. And they often see, this whole sort of campaign around this disastrous issue that's coming up, this deadline, and the consequences of which will be dire. But no side is actually sitting down at a table and negotiating. There actually are no negotiations between the White